I live in Toronto, Ontario, where the city has grown rapidly outward for a century. I'm Shawn Micallef. Join me as I explore the bounty and the burden of Toronto's ravines. Toronto's unique ravine systems extend all over the Greater Toronto Area, cutting across arbitrary municipal boundaries and uniting us through these waterways from the Oak Ridges Moraine to Lake Ontario.
I live here in Toronto, and I wonder if people in Toronto realize that they live in the greatest freshwater capital in the world.
Spared from development because of flood concerns, Toronto's ravines are a huge bounty of public green spaces that run from the edges through the heart of our metropolis. Ravines are hybrid spaces, partly natural, partly constructed.
Toronto has this really interesting opportunity where we have a 44,000-acre ravine system that could essentially frame the entire identity of the city.
We've been through an era of city building where we thought about streams and rivers as inconveniences that needed to be overcome. And we're going through a fundamental shift now, which is about recognizing that the way we interact with the waterfront, the way we interact with the ravine system, is in fact directly correlated to our quality of life.
Our ravines are upside down mountains. There's just as much opportunity on the sides of the ravines as there are on the sides of a mountain.
I love hiking in the East Don.
My favorite part is the Humber.
The bike trails along the Humber.
The brickworks.
I think maybe the thing about the ravines is that you see the city from a different vantage point.
Most people are within 10 minutes of a ravine system. You can drop down to a ravine on a lunch hour and be in amongst 200-year-old trees and babbling brooks and singing songbirds, which you could never do in most urban centers.
The ravine system in Toronto represents 30 times the scale of Central Park in New York City. There's a real lack of understanding about the ravine system here, about how to access it, about what you can do there, and why it's important.
It's a beautiful modern feat. We have built infrastructure underground. When you don't see something, there is a disconnect.
These are historic spaces. As long as humans have inhabited this place, the ravines and waterfront have been at the heart of life here. The ravines offer us relief from the swirl of city life. They offer opportunities for recreation, transportation, and public life that the urban grid cannot.